When vanilla Destiny launched, admittedly as a hardcore Destiny fan, it was mediocre at best. 1 year later and The Taken King comes out, it's basically the equivalent of making Destiny 1.5, which isn't a bad thing. For an expansion, I'd say The Taken King was great. Rise of Iron, instead of taking it to Destiny 7.5 or Destiny 2, instead just added more of the same, which again wasn't that bad. So with the title Destiny 2, I expected the game to go beyond The Taken King and introduce new concepts and add things that were lacking in Destiny 1. But it went fucking backwards, to Destiny 0.75. This expansion, however, sends it from Destiny 0.75 to Destiny 3. Just kidding, send it to 0.5. This expansion fucking sucks. The campaign is bad, that's all that needs to be said. It's the same problem that lurks in every Destiny expansion. Terrible and repetitive mission design, uninspired objectives, a non-engaging story and forgettable characters. To give credit to Bungie, the story itself isn't half bad, but there are two things holding it down. 1. With all of time and space to explore different realities, the majority of the campaign is looking for a fucking map. Exploring the past or future? Fuck that shit. Let's go Dora the motherfucking Explorer and look for a map, which in the end is useless because we fail. 2. The campaign is way too short for the complicated story it's trying to tell. 9 missions with about 3 to 4 hours of gameplay and cutscenes is enough to convey an explanation of how time travel and different realities work, especially when 2 hours of the campaign is looking for a fucking map. Most of the campaign just devolves into running through the most boring piece of shit I have ever played in any video game. The Infinite Forest holds up to his name, as it makes me want an infinite slumber. Playing through the Infinite Forest almost put me to sleep. That's not an over-exaggeration. It's not a joke. The Infinite Forest genuinely almost put me to sleep. It was that boring. I felt like the Flash on Mercury because I could run around it all in a matter of seconds. Mercury isn't filled with interesting stuff to make up for the lack of size. Why did I write that's not funny. It's basically a glorified tech demo for the new public event, which isn't half bad, but it's not rewarding at all. The adventures suck dick as well. Half of it you just run through the infinite and the other half is just uninspired objectives that we've seen countless times in Destiny. The new weapons and armor they've added are boring and shit, and the only good ones that they added are reused exotics from Destiny 1. The Prophecy weapons are boring and not worth the repetitive and fucking annoying grind that you have to do to get them. The only good exotic that I could see myself grinding for, Xur fucking sells it the week the DLC comes out. The saving grace of this DLC isn't that good. Fuck. Half of it you just run around while shooting stuff, and the other is a two-phase boss fight, like Axis. Like, the resemblance between the mechanics is uncanny. People are saying that the final boss is one of the best in Destiny history. I'd agree. If Oryx, Axis, Atheon, the Templar, Crota, the Warpriest, Golgroth didn't exist. My problems don't lie with the boss itself, but how the retarded weapon system handles with this boss. You can't use any other weapons besides Sins of the Past, Prometheus Lens, Cold Heart, etc. for damage, otherwise you're screwed. If we could have more not shit secondaries so we could have more options for the weapons that we use, that would make the grade much more accessible to new players who don't have to grind for a weapon that's basically required for doing the raid. The way it rewards you is still fucking stupid with it being shorter, so you might not even get that much for a raid lair. Remove the tokens, actually give me something for doing an encounter. The DLC fails to address the clusterfuck that is the Crucible. Team shotting is still the meta, and abilities take so long to recharge, you might as well be playing Call of Duty. Don't play Call of Duty. Don't do that. As for the maps, they're fine, I guess. They're not really gonna save the Crucible. I could not recommend this to anyone. Not because you wouldn't enjoy it, you wouldn't, but because I don't want to be responsible for Bungie and Activision getting money for this pathetic piece of shit. I hope it loses more than 78% of its player base this time, and not even because I want the game to get better at this point, but because I've lost all hope that Bungie can make a good game. No House of Wolves 2 Electric Boogaloo is going to fix the massive problems that they had solved in Destiny 1. The fact that they're selling the fixes and reused content from Destiny boggles my mind. I used to hate the obnoxious Destiny haters that were everywhere, but now I think I might turn to the dark side. If I didn't hammer home how bad this DLC is, then I hope this clears it up. Curse of Osiris is the Legion of video games. 3 out of 10. Fuck you, Bungie. Double fuck you, Activision.
3 summers on Mars. 20 motherfuckers in a levitating car. 747 full of women and cigars. Get money.
Money in the motherfucking pie. A castle full of cars and a yard full of yachts. A leopard with a mink and an arm full of clocks. All hand wound every day by a spot. Get money, 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 money.